We fixing to make this town real smoking.
If I was to ask you who is the top 5 of Tekken 8, everyone would probably agree that it goes Anna, Nina, Bryan, Claudio, and then Asuka. Maybe some people would throw in a Lydia, a Harang in replace of the last two or something like that, but the first 3 is definitively set by everyone. But what if I told you maybe we were wrong? What if I told you that the top 3 actually looks like this? Bryan Fury, number 1. A person who's been pushing this campaign for the absolute longest is ARSLAN Ash. You could go all the way back to November 23rd, 2024, where he tweeted, if Nina, Dragunov, Jin, and Yoshi gets nerfed, you know, those were the characters who was dominant in season 1. Bryan's going to be the next big thing. Surprise, surprise, he was right, especially with those season 2 buffs and whatnot. The character's going crazy, but it doesn't stop there. Once time passes and things evolve a little bit, he says, my top 5 in Tekken 8 without order is Nina, Bryan, Claudio, and Dragunov. Now, the reason why he put Dragunov up there is because Dragunov has a lot of fundamental tools and pro players love those and they can use those. This is why we see ARSLAN doing great work with the character, even though everyone kind of considers him a non-factor generally. But this kind of just shows you the different style of Tekken that pros play versus everyone else. But also, when you really hone in on the top 2, it's a flip of a coin for a lot of people between Bryan Fury and Anna. Now, my own personal take on this is that I like to fight Bryan more because he's more of a traditional Tekken character. Yes, he has crazy plus frames, combo damage, Oki's pretty wild at times, but generally, you're getting that Tekken gameplay from him. Anna, you're just getting season 2, you're getting heat, you're getting max range, you're getting everything we don't like. And that's why, even though Bryan Fury is one of the strongest characters in the game as well as Claudio, I can still play those characters and have a great time because it's the type of experience, it's the type of gameplay, it's the type of feeling that you're getting with those characters. But everyone knows that this conversation from ARSLAN talking about Bryan Fury being number 1 and Bryan Fury being untouchable, it created this battle with Nee. Nee feels that Bryan Fury isn't even top 3. Sometimes if you ask him, he won't even say top 5. Now, I won't retread that whole story because we already know the battle between ARSLAN and Nee. It's supposed to end in a 1st to 10 with ARSLAN playing Bryan Fury and Nee playing Nina. Will that battle happen? They said next year, and surprise, surprise, it's no longer 25 and it's now 26. Next year is here. Schedule the next Korea versus Pakistan main event. Let's run it. But in the meantime, something that I do want to note is that the presence of Bryan Fury has grown. We've seen Atif switch from playing Anna to Bryan Fury. We saw ARSLAN, who's also playing Anna, switch back to Nina. It seems like everyone who was playing Anna and doing well at the start are starting to switch. Now, I will put an asterisk on that because, once again, ARSLAN, he plays Dragunov, but he also has a pocket Anna that he used in the most recent tournament that just ended yesterday. We're going to talk about that tournament. Bryan Fury's everywhere. It's chaos. ARSLAN says, save your heat until Bryan activates his heat, and then use your heat to time out his heat. It's the best strategy versus Bryan because his HS is bad. The interesting thing is, you could counter Bryan Fury in this way, but with other characters who's weaker than him, you cannot. They could regain heat, they could do their little stances, and then you're forced to stop their heat meter from building up, and then boom, HS comes in and blows you up. I'm looking at you, Lars. Red Bull, they say if you could remove any character from the game, who would you pick? ARSLAN says Bryan Fury from Tekken. Now, the reason why he feels this way and still feels this way, because this last tweet here is very relevant, it's because the character is going around doing absolute work. I made a video a little bit ago talking about Atif and the way he's been destroying in tournaments, but there's another tournament that's been going on, you know, Korea, Japan, they be having their own tournament circuits, and one of the ones that just wrapped up and just concluded, STL Finals, Lohai walks away the definitive victor. But before then, they had a grand finals, Nee with Bryan, Lohai with Bryan Fury. Both of these characters were displaying some of the most incredible Bryan Fury that I've seen, and that's kind of excluding Atif. But there is a side conversation about who is the strongest Bryan Fury on the planet, and I mean, Atif seems like he's cooking. When Atif plays, this is the thing about the Pakistan players, and I won't harp on this because I said it before, but I will say it again. They are just playing faster, stronger, and more aggressive than anyone. And you could really tell the difference when both of these regions are playing the same character. Korea usually traditionally has more of a safe playstyle, a more less risky. But the Pakistanis, they're not afraid, bro. They'll go for it. They'll go for that big move. They'll go for that big mix up. So when you're watching Koreans play, it's a little bit of a slower pace. We know that Knee took a very long time to adjust and adapt and start finding great success. But once he adapted, he adapted. What I will say, side note, I am happy that Knee is playing Bryan Fury, because throughout all of Tekken 7, he played multiple different other characters, and it was rare when the Bryan Fury came out. But with Bryan Fury being this strong and him dominating so prevalent now, even more so than Anna. You rarely hear about an Anna going crazy in a tournament, unless it's like some online, tournament. But in the big boy leagues, bro, it's Bryan Fury who's dominating. That what is it, quarter circle forward 1? That move is a monster. His install, monstrous. Bryan Fury's damage, his Oki, his guard break, if you're online scrub with bad reaction, will destroy you. The Bryan Fury being so prevalent now, being so dominant now, it does make you wonder if we were all wrong. Everyone was kind of laughing at ARSLAN. We were kind of laughing at both ARSLAN and Knee because he was saying that Bryan is the top 3, sometimes even say top 5. But then we were laughing at ARSLAN because ARSLAN was saying Bryan is stronger than Anna. I wonder if this season, if we'll actually see the nerfs to these characters and we'll see all of them be brought down. But also, if not, if they only go after the top tiers that everyone's really been talking about, who's next up then, right? I think there's a lot of characters in this game that's very slept on. Law, Fang, and Clive. There's a lot of characters who are just waiting to be the new top dog. And there's a video that I want to do in the future where I talk about, because there's going to be a character who's the strongest in the game no matter what. And I want to talk about which characters should be the strongest. Which characters is it best to be the strongest for Tekken? Because there is some characters that is a good representation of like, this character should be number 1, and then there's characters who should never be to top 1. Let's look at the grand finals, the final match of the STL, Knee versus Lohai, and let's just get an understanding of how these characters are playing, what they're doing to come out on top. Knee is going to have the lead of the round at 1, and then the score count is 2, but keep in mind that Knee is on the loser side, so even if he did win this, it would reset the bracket. Lohai is looking to close out the tournament here. When I was talking earlier, the game count was up 2-0. So in that time that time skip that we had, Knee was able to come back 2 games straight. So it's kind of like he's labbing the matchup, or he's downloading the matchup a little bit. And even with that whiff punish there, you can see that Lohai is a little bit slipping, and this is just allowing Knee to get in there and kind of close the gap a little bit, right? And this is the thing, when you have people playing the same characters, it's really going to come down to skill, because it's going to come down to knowledge as well, because like, it's the same character, bro. Like, both of these guys have equal understanding of the character, more or less, especially when you talk about them being on the same team. Both DRX. These guys probably play a lot, travel a lot. It's going to have a huge impact on the way that you view the game and the character. And kind of similar with how I said with ARSLAN and Tiff, these guys have played so many games and they're not going to be able to win off of no gimmicks, no tricks. You're just going to have to win off sheer skill and understanding, right? Being better than your opponent. And you can see that movement is a big factor in this matchup, where they're both trying to sidestep and make these attacks whiff. But then notice how they're like punishing immediately, whiff punishing, crouch punishing. They are very in tune with what's happening. And yeah, it's like a back and forth push and pull. That launch right there from Knee was perfect. Now, Lohai is down a game here, right? So this is very important, because moments like this is make or break. This is when you really have to clutch, really have to lock in. It's not looking too pretty for him because his health is already at half. He pops heat to try to close the gap. Remember what ARSLAN said, pop heat to burn out his heat. You see Knee done that, right? That's the thing, when both people are playing the same character, you're trying to like exploit the weaknesses. What are the weaknesses of Bryan Fury, right? This guy's like a perfect character, still spacing, still looking for opportunity. And this is why I think Tekken 8 needs to buff well, I was going to say buff sidestepping, but they did it. The thing that they did to counteract it is buff tracking. They need to reduce tracking so we can see some gameplay like this, right? The moving around, the spacing, it's beautiful, man. I don't know why I know why they want to do it, because they want to decrease the skill gap, right? But they got to allow that skill expression to be shown, because they're really like cooking. It's really like the deciding factor here of like who could get the better sidestep, who could get the better backdash, like that right there. That was a great turn to the back. And I wonder why this is something that I've been noticing as well. I see these guys get these great side steps to the back, and then they opt for a very quick punish instead of a launch. And I wonder if they do that because they're fearing their opponent turning around and blocking and then punishing them. Usually when you get to the opponent's back, that's when you let loose. But here you can see Lohai, he wins, he does it, he beats Knee. Bryan Fury wins this tournament. Bryan Fury Grand Finals, the last tournament that happened with ARSLAN and Atif. When they were participating, Atif won with Bryan Fury. So do you guys think that Bryan Fury is the strongest character in the game, or do you guys still think that no, it's Anna? Me personally, I don't know.